What's going on, wrestling fans? Welcome into another edition of Near Falls with DHall.
Welcome to Near Falls with DHall. He's talking on bars and how they win it all. Yeah, just Near Falls with DHall. The final takedown, the glory or the fall. So loosen up, step on in, wrestle with the need to win. We're talking Near Falls with DHall. Ready or not, he's here to brawl.
What's going on, wrestling fans? Special edition of Near Falls with DHall, episode 69. My main man, Mac McGuire. How are you, sir?
Great, Donnie. How are you?
I'm doing real good. Super pumped up to have you here. Super pumped up to hang out with you and talk about your story, talk about your career a little bit. But yeah, man, thanks for coming and hanging out.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for feeding me.
Yeah, a little steak. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
gonna try to be my thing, man. I want people to, feed them good, come and hang out. But yeah, that's good, man. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Marky V, of course, came in clutch with the good cuts. So that was a good start to the evening. The girls up there drinking wine. So definitely a good thing. But yeah, man, there's so much to dive into. You're an Upper St. Clair boy. Obviously, I've talked about it a bunch. My brother-in-law, my family, my in-laws, they're from Upper St. Clair. We're going to talk about that. That's going to be fun. So, but let's just dive right into it. Where did you get your start in the sport of wrestling?
Got it. I remember starting when I was 6 years old. My dad taking me to practice. And then the first tournament I ever wrestled in was the Bethel Park Open.
Was that the odd age?
Yeah, it was the odd age. And
Dude, that was a big one back in the day.
Yeah,
I love that one.
Yeah, it was. It was like the end of the season, right before sections. I didn't wrestle in sections, but it was like the novice tournament, and it was the choice of winning or losing. And I wanted the biggest trophy, so I had to just win all the matches. And I actually quit wrestling the next year.
So was it 6 years old, 7 years old, didn't wrestle?
Yeah, I won all my matches, went undefeated, went out on top at 6 years old. I was like, I'm done.
No more.
I'm
anymore.
done, dude.
That's great.
So then from 7 to 9, I didn't wrestle.
Gotcha.
And then, I think 7 or 8. And then my little brother started to wrestle. And then I thought, like, I can't have my little brother beat me. So then I got back into it. And then that next year, I wrestled. And I remember taking 4th at regions.
Okay.
And you needed to take top 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next week, when everyone was getting prepared for states, my dad took me to Quest. And that's where I realized that I suck.
Right.
And I got my butt whooped the whole year, like demolished the whole year, and then started to come back and ended up going from not making it states to taking second the next year.
So, all right. So you took second the next year. That's a lot to unpack. In there, you talked a little bit about Quest. We're going to table that because I know we're going to talk about gym and Quest and everything a bunch. What years were that? Like, what year was that when you were just introduced to Quest?
I was 9 years old when I first, because
like 07.
Yeah, I would say 07 was definitely probably around there towards the end of it.
I'm trying to think when we were over there and looking at his wall, like who were some of the monsters? I mean, like when I figured out you were coming over this week, I talked to Mason Beckman.
Yeah,
text Jimmy, obviously. So I'm excited to just get into that like era of the Quest, like.
Such an era.
Yeah,
such an era. It's still an era, but
So you went from like didn't wrestle to second place at the state tournament. Obviously, Quest had a big part of that. What was that like? It
was it was awesome to go in there, and the guys I met when I was 9 years old are still my best buds. Connor Schram, Bauer, Colt, Anthony Zanetta, like all those guys. I remember being in there and just a great room. That continuously was a great room. And I remember growing up and thinking, like, do I suck on bottom or was everyone really good on top? It was so confusing.
Right.
So it was the first year I understood like the leap of getting better or something.
Right.
And then after that, it was just trying to stay consistently good.
So that was like the old school room where they had the dealership now.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
In Canonsburg, right?
Exactly. That was the home and the smell of going in there. in there. And
yes, I never was in that room. I never got to that point. I was kind of a little softy when I was in high school, but like I remember dropping my brother off, and I remember just like Jim being like a nut with some of those dudes.
I know.
What was it like whenever he, in the early days with Jim?
Jim was tough, dude. He I guess the worst thing I could think of was we would do push-ups every practice.
Okay.
And it would go from like he'd say we would do like 50, but we would go until somebody would cry. And every practice, kids would cry. It would be like torture, almost mentally. It'd be like everyone's
doing so.
Yeah, somebody broke. And then Jim was just like a hard-nosed guy,
Right.
would beat the crap out of you, and just kind of that old mentality of just get tougher, and really just an influential guy in my life for sure.
Love that. All right, so moving on, you figured out, obviously, you're pretty phenomenal going out throughout your youth career. Second place right off the rip. I was talking to my brother-in-law a little bit about you. Never really eclipsed that hurdle when you were a youth wrestler.
Yeah.
What was that like? Did that nag on you before you got into high school?
Yeah, I guess I never really thought I was good. I was kind of always like would go out there and the big wrestle the body, not the name. I actually didn't know anyone's name.
Okay.
Growing up, I just never really looked at the bracket. Didn't really wonder who was good. I would have other kids tell me who was good, like here and there.
Right.
But other than that, yeah, I would just go out there and win. And I remember I was a freshman or sophomore in high school, and I remember beating Chance Marsteller, and they're like, "You just beat Chance." I'm like, "Who? What do you use that?"
Where's that at? Like
it was like an Aussie, and he was like 3 years younger.
Right.
But
still, I mean,
it was just funny, like just going through where if you don't know the name, it kind of helps you. And then in college, I obviously knew the names more, but just going through and just wrestling the body helped.
Yeah. So talk about a little bit about that. What was it like growing up? And obviously we're the same age, but what was it like growing up in that area? Like all these kids, like, they got flow. Like any kid they wrestle, they know every single match. They've, all the results. Like it was kind of fly by night when we were in high school and middle school, right?
Yeah, it was definitely not. There's no scouting reports for sure. It was better though. I think. I mean, as far as like wrestling your own match, you go out there kind of worried about what he's going to do and kind of play off what his movement is. It's going to almost hurt you. But I don't know, I thought that was always just a good mentality, and not knowing the name, it kind of hurts me now thinking like, who is that person? And if people ask me,
right,
like I looked at your list, and I don't even remember the last kid I lost to until you sent me that. It was my last loss. Like, oh, that's that guy's name.
Right. Well, it's just one of those things. You don't really recognize it. So throughout your youth career and getting into your high school career, going into like Upper St. Clair, you trained with some of those guys like my brother-in-law, your older brother, the Wilding brothers. What like I love like talking about little. Not even, I mean, Upper St. Clair is not a little school, right? But the wrestling program to me is kind of little. Then you guys don't really have a tradition.
No.
I talk about that often with my father-in-law. There's no tradition there. It's just kind of, people move in and move out because of the school district. But what was it like being part of that little niche group when you guys were growing up?
It was fun. It was I almost feel like we just had dads that were really competitive and wanted their kids to be good.
Right.
So they put their kids in that situation. And I mean, looking at those guys now, like Austin's a Navy SEAL, John's crushing it and whatever he's doing, like it's almost like, of course, like of course these guys are going to be good, and of course we're going to have that time. And we had other guys in there that helped us and did well, but those two dudes were definitely, holy smokes, they were such. I'll never forget Austin's famous line he told me before I walked out to States my senior year.
Yeah.
Again, I never really thought I could like win much or do much. I was just kind of just like there and having fun and see what would happen. But right before I walked out, he said to me in the tunnel, he's like, "Yo, John and I talked, and we said you deserve this more than anybody else." It was like a cool, like, all right,
that's so cool.
Yeah, so I walked out there and I actually had the confidence, like, yeah, I should be here. I should win this.
I love that.
Yeah, so John and Austin that year that we went to States was so much fun that it just made the whole experience outstanding.
All right, I gotta ask. I know my My father-in-law, Jim, I love you, brother. I know you're a nut though. Give me your best Jim K story.
Oh my gosh, Jim K. So, couldn't even do a drink.
I love you, Dad.
So he would every match would crinkle up the program and just through it, just go. Anytime somebody was like in a pinning combination or anything, you just hear squeeze. Squeeze. Like the squeeze guy.
I love it.
Dude, he's so that was always maybe he'd crank up so much. It was like the most aerodynamic, like
I could see it. You know, he's an engineer, of
yeah,
course, right?
Of course. Like it's like if I get it as tight as possible.
Oh man, I feel like he's like figured out the best way to work out for his body. You know what I mean? He's just so smart. I've learned so much off of him. He's the best.
He's the man.
Oh man, does he live in a different intensity level than the rest of us? There's no doubt about it.
So we would do this fish fry for USC for our fundraiser,
right?
And it would be like a big thing. Everybody come over, and John's dad would just go so hard. Mr. Kyriacopoulos would just make it like we would get so many French fries done. We made more money than everybody else on Community Day. It was insane. Like we crushed.
Oh, I could go on and on with Jim K stories. I mean, they have the biggest pumpkins, you know. Yes, like NJ's had pictures in the pumpkins. Oh, we could definitely go on with Jim K stories.
He needs his own like episode for sure.
For sure. But yeah, man, I love it. He's definitely one of a kind and so much fun to be around.
He is.
So moving on, you get into high school, man. You're riding with your boys. You got you got Austin, you got John, yourself. You guys are rolling through. You got your Quest boys, obviously. When did you wrestle Chance Marcel? Was that like a Disney Duels or?
It was some Erie tournament.
Okay.
I think.
Well, that makes sense. Jim has a connection up there, right?
Yeah, we'd always go to Erie,
right,
for a summer tournament and wrestling like a duel there.
Yep.
No matter what. Yeah, I think it was like. I think I might have been a sophomore, junior. He might have been 8th grade. That's what it was. Yeah, and it was like he was wrestling in a high school tournament type of thing. But
so was that your like turning point where you're like, I might actually be pretty good?
I guess turning point. I don't know, because like my second year I took second. I guess I was always thought I was decent.
Yeah,
but it wasn't until probably my freshman year of college that I realized I was really good.
That long?
Yeah,
bro, you won a state title.
Yeah, but it's still like so much like
in Pennsylvania.
It's almost like luck, dude. Sometimes in my mind, like the things that happen in tournaments.
Really? You think? Okay, I did watch your semifinal match.
Some luck.
I mean, 9-7. Let me pull that up as we keep talking. But man, that was madness. So talk about your high school career, Coach Amel.
Coach Amel.
What was it like being under him?
It was fun. It was my first 2 years were good because I had my older brother there who's really a great wrestler, and he was able to be like my mentor and coach me through things. And when I didn't have a great relationship, I think I was just kind of like probably just a stubborn like little brat as a kid, and Amel probably wasn't having it. And then as we kind of progressed with our relationship, and towards the end, we are really good relationship. And even today, I saw him at Dapper Dan a couple weeks ago, or a couple months ago, and got to enjoy his presence and hang out with him.
Very cool, very cool. Yeah, Johnny told me a couple stories of him, like the most unassuming dude. Like you wouldn't like growing up. I always just thought he was that weird coach for Upper St. Clair, right? Like I've told the story before. I used to call Johnny John Kyriacopoulos because I couldn't say his last name, and that's my wife, right? Yeah. But those Upper St. Clair, like he just seemed like an unassuming dude. But Johnny said like he was an NCAA runner-up, like power lifter, world champ, like all this crazy stuff, surgeon, doctor, like craziness.
And he just volunteered his time. It's not like he did it for the money. He just wanted to give back. And yeah, he was a beast. He would let us at his house that had a wrestling room. Even I would go there with like Corey Wilding while I was in college.
Okay.
Just to get a workout in.
Yeah.
Because it was like a better room, and it was he was nice. He's the man. And
for
sure. A great guy.
All right, buddy. So I mean, we touched on it a little bit. I need to talk to you a little bit about like what was it like wrestling in the Whitfield, dude? Like I love, you see I got all this stuff hanging on the wall. I love Whitfield wrestling. It's my shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going through some of your Whitfield matches, dude. It's
not good.
Not good. I mean, you made more NCAA tournaments than state tournaments, my friend.
I know. Well, I didn't. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, Donnie. My freshman year did not go my way.
Right.
I Whitfield tournament, even Max. I just choke. I'm a choker a little bit sometimes.
Happens.
Yeah, but at Whitfield was my freshman year. It ended up being
Paul BWAC.
Yeah, it was BWAC, but the top 3 at Whitfield took top 3 at states that year.
Yeah.
That's tough.
That happens a lot, it seems like.
Yeah. So, but it was just tight matches that you couldn't pull it out. And even my sophomore year states 0-2.
Yeah, I see that. You lost to Paul BWAC Gauchi again in the semifinals.
Yeah.
Tough opponent, a little Hempfield boy there.
Yeah, I could never get him back. He had my number dialed.
Yeah, it happens.
Saved in his favorites.
That's great. All right, so listen, this is the next thing I got to talk about with you. Junior year, the rivalry with Derek Nelson.
Oh yeah, Derek. I was really mad when I lost to him in sections.
Right.
I didn't want to go to the podium type of thing. So I've never done that before, but I was like,
to break down that like whole situation.
So it was sections. He, in my opinion, caught me with a pin. Gotcha. I wasn't too happy about it. And it just put me in a way worse position in the Whitfield because the top part to me was a little easier. So I had to wrestle with
Marky, I'll look it up.
Yeah, Ethan Kenny.
Okay.
Yeah. He was a ridiculous
monster.
Yeah. And he was one of the guys. And then even after Nelson.
Reinhardt, Dominic Scalese, Ethan Kenny.
My man.
Right out of the gate. Right to get back to Derek Nelson.
Yeah, just had a little.
Just to get to Derek Nelson.
Yes, so I'd screwed myself.
That just proves though how wild the Whitfield tournament is.
Yeah,
though.
It was
Reinhardt is his
yes. Was that so? That was what weight were you wrestling there? 19.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, dude.
So, and then from there, I don't think from Whitfield on did I even have like a not close match.
Mm-hmm.
States was every match was like 1 point.
Right.
And maybe my first match, I think I beat that kid pretty decent, but after that, it was like all last second reversals or takedowns.
So you lose to Corey Keener in the finals. What was it like walking out there and not getting the job done?
It was kind of like it felt way worse than I thought it was going to feel. Definitely like you're happy to be there and you're pumped because you've never been there before. But then after it's like, I don't know, it hurts worse than actually being there. It's that whole like you hate losing more than you like winning. That negative feeling.
Was it like walking out there with the parade and like the show? I've talked to people that like they're like, that's a lot, dude. Like in the Giant Center.
It's definitely a lot. And it was only one mat. After that year, they did 3 mats. So I decided to lose on the one mat. And I just remember we game planned him.
Right.
And he did a move that we didn't game plan. And just from there, I thought I was going to get a last second takedown with the high crotch and didn't get it out.
Right.
But Corey's a great kid. Actually, he wrestled at Central Michigan, and I almost wrestled him there as well. But the match before, I tore my meniscus.
Right.
Concussion, all one move. Tough.
We'll get into it for sure. All right. So senior year, were you a man on a mission like junior summer going into senior year?
It was the opposite. I was on chill mode.
Okay.
I was playing basketball for practice.
Really?
Yeah, I would go to Sonic instead of Quest.
Jim's gonna kill me.
Yeah, I was not doing anything. I felt because I'd committed to Kent.
Okay.
And I kind of felt like, I did the work.
So did you commit to Kent before your state run there?
Yeah, before. So I felt like really relaxed. I actually didn't even cut weight my senior year. I was weighing like 130, wrestling 134.
Okay.
Just didn't really want to cut
weight. That's not bad then.
Yeah. So I was just having fun and enjoying it.
So why Kent?
Josh Moore for sure.
Okay.
He's the man.
Yeah.
There's a ton of reasons of like old teammates like Kyle Bauer, Nick Carr went there. Cole Baxter I was familiar with. They had a crazy recruiting class before me. They had like 16 guys. and they were just like hammers, Ian Miller.
Yes.
And I wanted to go.
For Ian Miller.
Yeah, I agree. So it was just a fun time, and it just felt right. And I'll never forget Jim Akerley told me when I was going on my visits, I was asking like where I should go, yada yada. He said, whenever you go on the visit, you'll know. And that was
okay.
I went on other visits, and when I got to Kent, I was like, yeah, this is it. I'm gonna go. I felt it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like you want to? Did you like the area up there, up Northern Ohio?
Yeah, yeah. It
was kind of quiet up there, right?
Yeah, Kent's like I liked it because it was just Kent. If not for Kent, then there would be no town. It was like most of the people around were college kids, felt like secluded. It was like a perfect fit for me.
Cool, cool. All right, so you committed, you take second, you're bumming it up in the summer.
Yeah.
When did you figure out like I got to get my shit together?
I guess I kind of just like would practice all the time and would go hard, but my whole senior year, I didn't really think much of it. I thought it was like, whatever happens, I already signed my papers.
Yeah.
They financially already paid me, kind of.
Right. Yeah.
So I didn't think much of it, and then just went through the tournament, and
So that let you wrestle kind of free then.
Yeah, exactly. That was my best year for many reasons.
That semifinal match, I'm still trying to find it, but that match, my friend,
that was
back points, reversals, ended up being 9-7.
Yeah.
Just kind of letting it fly. Like, was that your mentality when you wrestled? Just kind of just letting it go?
Yeah, definitely senior year was more just have fun. And I didn't cut weight, so I had so much endurance. And I noticed that like when I would wrestle these bigger guys, as long as I could just keep with them until like the end.
Yeah.
When they started to break, I just felt so good.
So you were trying to look for that like takedown or
just keep pushing the pace and keep wrestling through it and not really care much about what else is going on.
So what was it like when you won that state title though? I mean, you took second your junior year, you took second a bunch when you were in juniors. I mean, you finally get to the top. It had to feel pretty good.
Oh, ridiculous. Yeah,
I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a great feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't help but smile. I know a lot of people stand on the podium like pissed off or like act like they're tough, but I was cheesing.
Right.
Yeah,
yeah, of course.
Time. I mean, it was
break me down that finals match. Like, was it like an out of body experience or like?
Yeah, it was towards the end. It kind of just felt like I was gonna win. I just felt the whole time. I was in the zone. Everything was going my way, and then the ref kind of wanted to get me with the double stall. I don't know about that.
Madness.
Tried to get the match going, but yeah, the whole experience after was awesome. And then I got to wrestle on Dapper Dan. Always wanted to do that since I was a kid.
Professional segue. Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
Of course.
So what was that like? I mean, you wrestled it when it was awesome, like back in the field house. You guys hung out at Pitt for the weekend, and like it was a real deal thing. What was that like?
I've been going to Dapper Dan since I think I was like 10 or 11 years old. And I remember always going and getting a bag full of like the free samples of like the protein bars or whatever else they had. So then I went there to actually wrestle, and I was having fun, but I more so was like, yo, people are coming here to like see a match. They're trying to like.
I noticed that when I watched your match.
I was like,
you let it fly.
Yeah, I had to. I was like, I'm not gonna just go out there and try to win. Like, I want to like give these people a show. I hated when I would go to Dapper Dan and these guys were all hyped up, and you go out there and they're like stagnant. Like, come on, let it fly, man. And Dapper Dan has such fun matches.
Yes,
it is really like.
I mean, it is. They do a great job with it. I do wish it was still at the field house. I understand where it's at now. Which I mean, in all honesty, it makes sense where it's at, but. Man, the pageantry and like everything of the field house was just
I was telling you about Alex that it's like it's cool because it's next to the meadows,
right?
But man, when you go there and you're like the field house
next to the meadows, that's right, my friend. I got you.
For certain reasons.
All right, my friend. So Kent State, you get up Northern Ohio. Right off the bat, dude, you started to make some noise. Was that the plan? Like when you got up there, you wanted to start and go right off the rip?
Yeah, I thought I had a teammate, Kyle Bauer, in front of me at 33.
Okay.
And my initial was like, I'm either gonna try to be in a wrestle house or redshirt. And he beat me hands down.
Right.
So I redshirted, and then he actually couldn't make 33 anymore. And I was having a pretty good freshman open. My first match. I actually beat Austin Wilding's teammate, who was number 16 in the country from Army.
Okay.
I went out and upset him
Nice.
7-2 or 7-4.
Prince.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
got you.
Yeah, Austin afterward told the kid, he's like, "Hey, actually, that was my teammate. He's pretty good."
Yeah.
And then I had a couple other I almost beat Johnny DeJulius. We'll probably talk about him. But
Yes,
I
let's
wrestled
talk
him.
about thank you.
Yeah.
Another professional. I watched 3 of your matches or 2 of your matches with him.
Yeah, I think it was
one at Kent State in double overtime, which was a dog fight, and then another one. I think it was at some tournament, looked like Ironman or
it was at National Duels, probably something
National
like
Duel.
that.
Sound right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I wrestled him 5 times.
5 times. I only got through 3.
5, yeah. That it was Johnny. He has my number for sure. He's strong. His hands. He's a strong kid.
It's so weird seeing him at 133 pounds and little, because now you my brother grew up with the Logan Paul era and the Vine and YouTube and all that. Johnny DeJulius is running around with Logan Paul and Jake Paul and doing all this crazy stuff with them.
He's jumping out of airplanes.
And you wrestled him 5 times. That had to have been kind of wild,
It was. He's just definitely living a crazy life.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
He was he was a hell of a wrestler. I remember his junior year, he won Vegas, which is a really tough open.
Yes.
And he just
the CKLV.
Yeah. He was a tough kid to wrestle, man. His style really was tough to score a lot of points, kept it close.
Yep.
I just couldn't get him.
So what was it like wrestling under Coach Andressi?
It was fun. He's a different type of cat.
Okay.
To say the least. Yeah. He does things a little different. Him and I didn't see eye to eye with a ton of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I don't know how much I would recommend kids go there because of him, to be honest, Tony.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's super controversial, but we had a tough time dealing with each other.
Yeah.
So he just didn't really. He said my senior year, he doesn't understand who I am. It's kind of weird to get from a coach that's been there for 4 years of your lives.
Yeah, you would think you would know each other.
Yeah, so it was a little weird, but I mean, he always had pretty much good intentions for me.
Yeah,
never screwed me over by any means. Never did me wrong.
Yeah,
we just his communication towards me was different than mine towards him.
Got you.
How I'd prefer to have it.
Got you. So, I mean, you still did pretty well, man. You go to 4 national tournaments. What was it like stepping on the big stage, Division I?
It was the best,
right?
This is what you watched as a kid. Watching NCAA as a kid, it was holy smokes. And then you see them in these college singlets. That was what me was the coolest thing. Because you see college football, you see these logos.
Yes,
and
sir.
All of a sudden you're going out there and these kids wear them. And you're wow, this is
this
is it.
And I'll be honest with you, I love Golden State singlets. They're the Golden Flash singlets of Kent State. They're pretty legit. They got a nice colorway.
Mm-hmm.
Match them up with some good inflicts or some good Asics. They do look pretty good.
Yellow and blue is a good color.
It is. It is for sure. So when you decided to wrap it up, you finish up your career. But my man, you were 109 and 55, top 15 all time at Kent State.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, man. I mean, you had a hell of a career. 4-time qualifier. Even when you were a senior, 26 and 7. Third at MACs. You had an automatic bid. You won 2 and 2 in nationals. I mean, you had a hell of a career. Sum up the rest of your time at Kent.
I love Kent. Kent was such a great experience. The guys on the team just still really good friends today.
Yeah,
just genuinely good people, and we just trained together. We really did what we could. I mean, we finished, I think, 14th in the country as a team. So we really
very good. Yeah.
I mean, when we went out there, it was. And even after tournaments, we'd be playing heads up, playing games in the back of the bus, just team camaraderie out the wazoo. And Kent was a really good learning experience for me too.
For sure.
Good away, coaching staff, Josh Moore, unbelievable guy.
Yeah.
Matt Hill, great freaking guy.
Yes. Talk to me about Matt Hill before we move on. I got it. I mean, Matt Hill, shout out Freedom Boy. Matt
Yeah.
Hill, what was it like being around him?
Hill is a workhorse. I
Not
don't think
surprised.
I've ever seen anybody outwork Hill.
Not surprised.
Like he would just go like he made me realize like there is a difference from like lifting and like lifting and sweating. Because you can lift and like go through a lift, but if you lift and you're sweating, like you went through a hard lift.
Sounds like a Freedom Boy. That makes sense.
And he would run a ton of our workouts.
Yeah.
And he would run camps. Like him and Josh were a great dynamic duo.
Yeah.
We even had Musser, Clint Musser. He was a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a great guy because he had such a wild past of like drinking and like DUIs or like nonsense that he could relate to you guys.
Yeah. Don't do that shit.
Yeah, well, you'd be like, hey, I know you guys are gonna party. Give yourself a day, like
Right.
September 15th or this day that you commit to. After that, you're gonna go to the season and take it serious. Where other people like just don't do it at all. You're like,
yeah, like let's level here a little bit,
let's
right?
Be honest. Let's be like,
yeah, I can appreciate that always, for sure,
definitely.
for sure. Yeah, man, I love that. Kent State, different world up there. That was the Mac the whole time you wrestled up there, right?
Yeah, it is the Mac. They actually have like really nice training facility now, like $1 million facility, and I think that Kent could be a crazy good school. Right now, it's kind of like it's just running amok. They're not. I mean, it's kind of embarrassing, honestly.
Yeah,
they're not doing well. And they have a ton of resources. They have endowment of like a ton of money, and it stinks to see it like be the way it is, and see kids go there like not really enjoy their experience or come back to me like, yo, this is going on. It's like, dang, dude, that stinks.
Right, and that's your alma mater, and
yeah. So it would change, and I'm sure it would be better in the future.
So you move on after Kent. You take a couple coaching jobs. What was that like, stepping off the mat and like in the coach's corner?
It was like being a kid and trying to be an adult. That's how to describe it as.
It's a good
explanation. I had a great coach, Cody Walters. He was the other assistant with me. He wrestled at OU.
Yep.
He was our big guy coach, and we had one heck of a year. We beat Kent, and he beat OU.
Okay.
So it was cool to go back and beat your alma maters like first year out there. And the coaching experience is there's just a ton up with it. It's a lot of coaching, but it also is really more so like when that door is closed and the kid comes in and says like, hey, I need to say something or I need to talk. And the mentality is
a little psychological stuff.
Yeah, and you don't realize how much these kids are going through. I mean, you think your teammates kind of tell you, but when you're a coach, these kids really are like, hey, this is because you don't open it like that to some of your teammates, or you don't really say that. But as a wrestler to a coach, I couldn't believe it.
Different world.
Yeah, it was cool. And to meet those kids and even still talk to those kids now, and just I can tell they respect me, and I can appreciate that I was there for them. And coaching is an awesome pursuit.
Love that. All right, so moving on, kind of back home now. I see you got a Quest shirt on. You never stop repping the brand. You're rolling around over there at the over there with Jim. What's it like stepping back in like the new building? Like, I love talking to Mason Beckman about this. Like, you guys come home and it's like he's got this new facility. It's all neat and shiny, and he's kind of a different coach from what he was whenever you guys were back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I want to say certain words about it. Let's just say he doesn't MF people as much as he used to.
A little bit more politically correct, I will say.
Yes. He kind of has a softer side, Donnie, if I'm being honest. He used to be really brutal.
Yeah.
But now as it should be, like you can't be saying that.
Different world.
Different world. He's adapted.
Yeah.
Has a heck of a room still.
It's like when we go in and you see all the hats lined up, you're on there. You know what I mean? It's just like incredible, the list of people that have wrestled and came through his doors.
It's cool to see, like, I ran Quest last night.
Yeah.
It's cool to see a group of kids that you can show a move to. Go out there and you see like a couple things like, hey, you need it. All right, bring it in.
Yep.
Show this. And it's just like instantly they get it. Even like down to youth. It's such a rewarding experience,
Yeah.
and that has to be built with like the perfect foundation and go up from there, and all that great stuff that Jim definitely instills from the youth.
So do you go out? Do you do any of those like VA beach trips or any of that stuff?
Our Virginia Beach trip is actually insane as a
I
quest
hear
group.
good things. I hear like you guys have a good it's a good trip.
We had an Airbnb that Jen Eagerly
Yes.
gets, and she cooks for us. Like, she's a great cook. And
Right.
she'll make. I think we had 12 Quest alums, so all in one house.
So you just like split up all the teams and just
Yeah.
like
And then the guys come back after coaching, and we just have fun all night.
That's
Party.
awesome. Yeah.
So yeah,
Of course. I mean, that's what VA Beach is. I mean,
it's a
all the
party.
coaches, the news flash for those out there. I mean, the coaches and
we like to have fun.
Yeah, we like to, we like to have a couple of
we go there for more than just the kids.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, but what was it like just being a part of like coming back? Like you said, Jim running the big house. I remember seeing a video, you guys are all around and Jim's like telling stories like around a campfire type of stuff.
Yeah, it's so much fun going back, and there's just so much history between all of us, and the kids that are coaching now, I coached, when they were in high school, and now they're coming back and coaching again. Just like a good revolving door of great kids that come in. Even a coach with Connor Schram and Colt Shorts. I've been wrestling those kids since I was 9 years old. We went through the club.
Yeah.
We competed against each other.
Right.
And now we can like sit back and relax and joke around and coach. So that was probably one of the greatest experiences this last time doing that.
All right. So you see this your wave obviously was something special. Yourself, Mason Beckman, Connor Schram, like all those guys, a great group, Colton Shorts. This group that's through now is pretty nasty, my friend.
know.
Rune Lawrence, Dylan Evans, Ty
Maddox
hangs out there a
Shawks.
bunch, Maddox Shaw.
Yeah.
I mean, monsters all over the place when you go in that room. Are you surprised?
No, not at all. It is wild. I would come back intermittently, and I would like wrestle with kids, and now you see like Gabe Wilsheld and like these guys that were good in high school and had their success, and now they're in college. You're like, holy smokes, they're like
real
hammers on
good.
Peyton Hall, like
yes, Peyton.
Yeah, like it almost like it's so funny to see these kids that like I was whooping their butt, but now they're like so good.
Real deal good.
I mean, Jim, and it comes from like that youth program getting good and just consistently driving those kids to be better, and they're all friends. That's the coolest thing. Those kids coming back for this Virginia Beach camp or tournament, and you can see it. They're not like, hey, like it's good to see you. They're like, like long lost buddies. Like I haven't seen you so long, and that's one of the coolest parts of Quest. It's a real family.
I love that. Yeah, man. So before we move on to like kind of the last part of the show, the rapid fire question, we were talking a little bit about like the club scene and what it's like. I mean, I've touched on it a few times on my show. There's got to be just within the Pittsburgh area, I don't know, 10, 15 clubs.
Yeah.
Minimum. Marky, how many you think? 10, 15?
The area?
Yes.
I don't know, man.
A lot, dude. All over the place.
Popping up all the time too.
I mean, Quest has been there forever. What do you make of all this? Like, I appreciate that there are so many people that want to teach it, but I also know who actually knows what's going on. You know, I just don't. What's your take on all these clubs, basically?
I would say, like, I think there's plenty of kids out there that want to wrestle. I have a nephew, he's 6. He is friends. Like you talk to these parents and they're like, yeah, I would love for my kid to wrestle, or I would love it for my kid to just run around on a mat.
Yeah.
So it's kind of one part of it is I think the more the better. I guess the other part of it is the teaching of the fundamentals and like that early success is what do you have like a rating for clubs?
Yeah.
To be like, should you go to this one or that one?
That's true. Yeah.
So there's a couple different sides. I'm just a more competitive. Let's just grow this freaking sport.
I love that. Yeah.
Like let's get as big as we can through whatever means possible without destroying the actual art of the sport. And for those old heads, Jim, like you gotta get over some of that stuff. As Jim, newsflash, people go to other clubs.
Yeah,
like
it happens.
I would Mark Angle trained me a ton. He would, in between like him and Tyler Mannion, we would just get trained by him all the time. And then he started his own
Tyler
club.
Mannion. That's
Yeah,
the name.
I know. Like
Oh man.
and Sonny Oddbet.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
yeah,
Yeah.
just like you got to get a little bit of everything, and it's good to have like a foundational club, but you still should get her out.
Yeah.
Train with different guys.
So that's the next thing. What women's wrestling, like everything's taken off. What do you think about that?
I like it.
Yeah.
I think we gotta use Title IX in our favor.
Yes.
You gotta have that grow, and why not?
Yeah.
You know, like,
As many eyeballs as possible, right?
well, and the fact of that's what made me almost realize more with coaching is like girls are really, really good at wrestling and they listen better.
From everything I've talked to, like they're super detailed.
Yeah, and you tell them something, they will go and do it right away. And you tell these boys, they're like, "What are you doing?" It's
little
crazy.
assholes.
Yeah, it's wild. So I think they should. I mean, I guess I don't see the negative of it.
I got
you. You know?
Yeah, I agree. 100%. All right, last couple questions, a little bit more current events. What are your thoughts? I mean, you wrestled on the air. Like I was watching down your matches. Like you stand up, dudes are dropping down to the single and riding down the single leg before it was the 5 count for stalling.
Yeah.
Now it's like 3 points per takedown. Like what do you make of all the rule changes?
I guess we're trying to make it more offense. I don't have a fine like we should do it this way or that way. I mean, freestyle, they change the rules all the time.
Yep.
So if they want to try to do what freestyle does and change it up, I mean, in my opinion, the better wrestler's going to win, no matter what the rule is. If you're the better wrestler, like the rules shouldn't really play in your favor too much. I mean, I definitely have lost because of certain rules, but
right.
Yeah, we'll just have to see how the season goes. What are your thoughts, Tommy?
I agree. I mean, it all depends. I think I love the fact that you can look at a match and someone's down by 5 and they're only 2 takedowns away from tying the match.
Yeah.
So that's cool in my mind. But you need to go and get the takedown and then get back points to try to get the riding time points. So it's definitely a different era. I think that it's going to promote more on your feet wrestling, which in turn will help us a trickle up effect for the Olympics because we don't wrestle folk style, we wrestle freestyle. We talked about that at dinner.
Yep.
Which is definitely, another interesting topic. There's so many different ways, you can go about it. I'm a folk style purist. I love folk style wrestling. I love the team aspect. I love duels. I love folk style wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
But even I admit, like, it would be better for America. It would be better for the USA for us to just wrestle freestyle. Like, if our kids are wrestling freestyle from, like, think about, like something like Maddox Shaw wrestling freestyle from, like, he was, like, 8 years old or 6 years old. He would be launching dudes.
So, yeah, he's so good. he's an animal.
Natural, just nasty.
Yeah,
like
he's so freaking strong. I just wrestled him yesterday.
Yes, he is. I watched him at Powerade last year when he was a freshman 2 years ago, whenever that was, and he beat, I think it was that Robinson kid, one of the best kids in the country. Does that sound right, Marky? Semifinals or quarters, something nasty. 126. That's my knowledge. But I mean, think about like those dudes wrestling freestyle from the get.
It would help. I guess kind of another part I think of is jiu-jitsu and top are similar. And I noticed that kids that are good at jiu-jitsu are really good at top in wrestling and folk style. So you could play it to that. And I'm a same thing, Donnie. I love folk style.
Yep.
That top bottom.
Love the top and bottom.
Yeah,
we're Pennsylvania guys, right?
Yeah, and it's such a cool dynamic to break that down even more.
Yep.
But yeah, let's figure that out.
All right, last couple questions. I knew it.
Heck yeah.
Good sometimes, bad other times. My brain's like a weird Venus flytrap. It catches something. All right, last couple questions. Last question, and I ask everyone this, so don't feel like I'm picking on you. Favorite near fall or pin you ever been a part of?
Like when I got pinned?
No.
I thought you were saying
whatever you've ever been a part of.
No.
Right. So we're talking like, You either got pinned, you pinned someone, you were in a duel, and your boy pinned someone.
Okay.
Someone who you guys least expected to pin someone to win a match. Yeah. I've seen it like literally going so many different. Yeah. Like Ty McGuire picked like Vincenzo pinning Imar.
Dang, I didn't even think about someone else. I was thinking like
you can pick
person.
yours.
All right.
Yeah, whatever you
so
want.
I'll go both.
There you go.
The one that I got pinned on. No, actually the one I'll go near fall. I got tech followed by I forget his name, Northern Iowa dude. He was like number 2.
Joe Cologne.
Yeah, Joe Cologne. I remember the duel. I took him down, rode him out the whole first period. I'm like, be the number 1 guy in the country. I'm 2-0 down.
Yeah.
Get teched. Get teched that period.
What did he hit you with?
Just I would stand up and his arms were so long. He was like strong too. He would just
roll you back,
half tilt.
Yeah,
just kept doing it like 3 or 4 times, and we ended up actually tying Northern Iowa, who's like number 5 in the country, and we lost because of criteria.
Oh, because you took down.
Because I got teched. I've never got teched in my life, and that was the first time ever. And I was like, wow, I lost a huge match for our team. Most memorable pin though has to be my senior year. It was I got a concussion and torn meniscus all in one move.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, against this Northern Illinois kid. It was in 3rd period, and I'm kind of hazy with it because I was concussed. But I won the match. I don't remember how I won exactly.
Yeah,
and then for Max, I had like probably a month and a half off or 2
to get to Max before.
Yeah. And that was my first match was against. And actually, fun fact: I've never won the first match at Max ever. I've choked every year. That's like kind of my thing. But yeah, I took the kid down. I was ranked number 1. I think I was like 7th, or I think I was like 8th in the country. Like doing good. Took the kid down. I don't know if it was like anxiety or whatever hit me, and then I got crushed by that kid.
Brain fart.
Yeah, this kid from Buffalo, and I remember he after he beat me, he said number 1, what a joke, and like pushed me, and I was like, can't say anything. And then I pinned everybody on my way back, and I took 3rd, and he took 5th.
So he didn't even make it.
No, he didn't make it. We actually took
so you got like a wild card or something?
No, Max that year we had 9 kids, or no, we had 11, and we took like 8 or 9 bids that year.
From yours?
Crazy, yeah.
That's odd for Max. Normally you guys get what, 3 or 4?
We had like an absurd amount of kids that were like ranked, and we just had a bunch of hammers.
I love that. All right, rapid fire question. Right off the bat, favorite? Oh no. We'll start here. Who was your toughest practice partner?
Probably Connor Schram.
Okay.
Yeah, little secret. I went to USC, but I'd practice at Cannon Mac.
Happens.
Yeah, I would probably like 70 Cannon Mac, 30 USC, or 60-40. So it was more
wherever you can get the best partners, right?
Yeah. So since my sophomore year, Connor and I just drilled all the time, and Colt obviously was in that group, but him or Nate Skenesny. Nate Skenesny was my toughest college drill partner. He would just fight you, like club you, punch you.
He used to hit himself before matches.
Where was he from?
Fox Chapel.
No, Walsh Jesuit.
Walsh. I was gonna say like Ohio.
Yeah, he was like a number 1 recruit out of high school.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was my toughest college drill partner. He was, it was
mean mug.
Mean, yeah. He went to Iowa and then he transferred to Kent. It was fun.
I remember that name because I was thinking of Josh Jebba from Council Rock South. That's who I was thinking of. That's how my brain works sometimes. And that's a weird like how I pulled that out. But all right. Toughest opponent on the mat.
Toughest opponent on the mat. Let's see. There's gotta be somebody out there.
Well, you got smoked by who's the dude that teched you, Joe Cologne?
But he wasn't like the toughest. I'm thinking of somebody who was like really like hurt to wrestle. I would say like maybe Graff from Wisconsin.
Tyler Graff.
Yeah, he was just like
a brick.
Yeah, he just hurt. Yeah, Earl Hall was good, but again, I think he was. I don't know, on top and bottom, he stunk.
All on his feet.
Yeah, on his feet. So Graff was a real animal.
Shazer. Where's that?
Cody Brewer.
Eddie
Oklahoma.
Brewer. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was just so funky. Yeah. No, bring him up. I want him. I want to hear him all for a fantasy.
What's his best win? Come on, Marky.
I would say
Mason. You beat Mason?
no. Mason Beckman beat me.
Uh,
Yeah, nationals my junior year.
Oh, he beat you at Nashville.
Yeah, he beat me.
Big names.
Oh, yeah. We're looking for the other way around there, bud.
You looking for best win?
Yes.
No, keep the losses going. I like it. So our fantasy football, we do with all the Ken.
Hold on,
guys.
you're a fantasy football guy?
Big fantasy.
Oh.
So we have our
that was
buddy
awesome.
Kyle Bauer. He works for Barstool.
Okay.
So he'll make like a fantasy draft lineup.
Yes.
And last year he put a video of all of our losses and like made that the video of like introducing against you acquired just all of your losses. It'd be like, you know, like highlight would be your arms raised. It was everyone was just keep losing.
Oh, that's so funny, dude.
Yeah.
So that's where all the connection with Kyle Bauer is. Okay, now I figure it all out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know
So yeah,
since I was a kid, man.
that's incredible.
I
He
gotta-
is a legend.
I got a funny Kyle Bauer story.
Hit me.
So in college, I got like college, but in college, we at Mac, there was like a loop behind the Mac Center where people would come from like the student center and you would go up like a governor's driveway and back down where people parked in
Yeah.
the parking lot. And at the bottom of the parking lot was a crosswalk where people went to the student center. And Kyle was like going down the hill. I was in shotgun and he's parked his car and there's people walking to the student center for a tour. And all of a sudden, Kyle doesn't say anything and he just lets his foot off the brake. Car starts drifting. He slams his head on the horn, and the car horn is just going off as the car is drifting towards these people. They stop walking and start looking, and his head's down. So they're staring at me like just total impulse move. Like, doesn't say, like, hey, I'm going to do this. We're just driving. He goes, slams his head against the thing and just lets the car drift towards these people.
They
Like it's
freak
gonna hit.
out.
It wasn't like we were probably like 20 yards away, so it was so far, but the car was drifting like slowly while the horn just.
So that's his like his sense of humor.
Yeah.
Super like random out of nowhere. I
like
love
he would
that.
like ride bikes past girls and like fart on them. Like,
Oh, that's great.
if I ever tell Kyle stuff like recently, embarrassing things, he'll tell them on his podcast. So I have to watch out like what I say.
Yeah.
He'll just roast me.
Well, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
But
he
I
needs
mean,
material.
at least we'll get some of them out there
Yeah,
off
right.
on him, right? That's good stuff. Yeah. So fantasy football is it's the best thing ever, dude.
It's
I love
so
it.
much fun.
Yeah, I could go into stories. All right. Favorite meal.
Favorite meal, honestly, probably like General Tso's chicken or some like Asian cuisine. And
You
the
have like a
steak is,
special spot in Upper St. Clair that you grew up on?
not really. My mom, we never went out to eat. My mom's like the best cook ever.
Oh, she's a cook.
Yeah, my sister too. Unbelievable meals.
What's your favorite thing your mom cooks?
Any kind of Italian dish. She's an OG Italian girl.
Okay.
Yeah, she cooks it all the best. And my sister, she's a nutritionist, so my sister would help me with like cutting weight, and I was counting calories my freshman year of high school. Like I said, I didn't even know what calorie was. Till
Right.
like 11 years old. I was
Right.
like, what?
Figured it out quick when you have a nutritionist on board.
Yeah, and Mr. Kyriacopoulos tells you not to eat French fries.
Yeah, it's another weight class. For sure. All right. You got a golf game?
I do golf. I like golfing a lot.
All right.
I'm bogey golf though.
That's fine.
I hear you're great, Donnie.
I try.
I hear that you're amazing.
I try.
Hell
I mean,
yeah.
I play. We'll have to play.
Yeah, let's go.
All right.
I love to play.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like so they did it. They didn't do it this year, but they did it last year. The Gavazi golf tournament
Oh yeah.
for Quest. We played in it last year.
Oh hell yeah.
So
Yeah, it was a good time.
yeah, next year hopefully they do it again. We'll play in it. Maybe we'll play.
Dude, put me on a team. Let's
I'm
go,
down.
Donnie. I'm more better vibes and good golfer, but
That's all
what
I
you
need. That's all I need. A little bit of vibes. Doesn't take much. Yeah, Marky plays with me. Doesn't
Oh,
take
let's
much.
go.
Just little vibes.
Yeah,
Marky's
damn,
not
too.
terrible.
I'll
Marky's
come
a
in clutch
softball player.
sometimes. Heard you lost in softball, though, Mike.
Yeah.
Still in it.
Okay.
He's still in it.
Okay.
Still alive.
On the table, we're gonna repeat. We champ last year. Gonna repeat.
I like to hear that. Good.
Troy Regard's the pitcher.
Really?
Yes.
Troy.
On the mound.
Dude, he's good.
I
so we
bet.
went and watched, and he just kind of talks shit and pitches the whole time. It's
It
hilarious.
sounds like Troy's game.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it's great.
Oh damn! I have to come to these games.
You will. You have to.
Yeah, I bet.
Roll on down, son.
All right. What do I have next on the list here? All right. Favorite sport that's not wrestling?
Beach volleyball.
Beach volleyball.
It's the best.
Spectator or to play?
Play doubles. Big fan.
You like it?
Yeah, and to watch, of course. More women's for some reason.
Yeah, I wonder why. So that's a grueling sport, though. I mean,
Yeah, it's just like I
Long
think it's
time?
like I don't know. Yeah,
where the hell did you learn to play that? You went to college in Ohio, and you grew up in freaking Western Pennsylvania. Where'd you learn to play beach volleyball? Bud?
all my friends are volleyball players in high school, so we
Okay.
just played beach all the time. They taught me the fundamentals, and then it's one of those sports where you don't have to be that big. I
Right.
stink at basketball.
Right.
I have that's not my game, but beach volleyball you can make up for hustle and just
just be in the right place, at the right time, type of thing.
yeah, exactly.
Got you.
And it's
Got you.
just such a great workout. It's one of the best.
Got you.
Or snowboarding, actually. That's a sport. I would say that's number one.
Snowboarding.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I've never even like been down a mountain before. I'll probably kill myself if I try to do something like that, Marky. We've had
Yeah,
conversations.
ski. I'm a ski.
I
Dude.
lived out in Colorado for 2 years.
All right. So yeah, you're great.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
You go out there with Anthony and all that
Anth
boys.
goes out there with me.
Okay, that's how it is.
Yeah, I showed
Okay,
them, yeah.
okay.
Ant's good, but definitely a little different of tiers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'd go.
You're better than Ant.
Oh, I'd go helicopter.
Oh, I like it.
I'd wait.
I had all three of them on. He was all modest because I had three of them on at the same time. I have Ant just by
Oh, you
himself.
guys gotta have Ant. He's probably way better.
Oh, I just have to have Ant by
Give
himself.
me an Ant on here, dude.
I've thought about like once
I
I get the
would
putting green
love
outside.
Some, mid-season stuff.
Yeah, dude. You guys have to come on and bullshit.
That would be
Fuck
sweet.
Yeah.
I'm over,
And near falls in the Whitfield,
I'm
dude. You
over
guys will come
steak
on.
and talk.
Yeah, that's it's hard to
Easy.
tough sell.
Yeah. Yeah, right. What am
Yeah,
I doing again?
for sure. I don't think I have anything else. Marky, anything else on your schedule, buddy?
Anyone else you want to shout out?
Oh yeah, that is the last question.
You got the mic, man. It's all yours, man.
Shout out Quest. Shout out Jen. She's the mastermind behind Quest.
Mama Jen, I hear good things.
Mama Jen. Family. Can't get enough family.
Yeah.
Shout out to them. And yeah, shout out to wrestling community. Let's get this shit going.
Yeah, man, as much
know,
as possible.
Yeah. Let's go.
I love that.
Thanks for having me, guys. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks,
Yeah.
man. You were a great guest and just kind of chopping it up. I love the Jim K stories. I love the Johnny K stories.
I got some more for next time.
This is good stuff, man. Thank you so much for coming down and hanging out with us and, seeing Marky and I. And, Alex was thrilled to have you
Yeah,
over.
man, I've seen her so long. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate you, Mac. Thank you for coming over and hanging out.
Thanks, Sonny. Thanks, Marky.
Thank you guys for hanging out and checking out this episode of Near Falls with DHall.